I was here at Putney from the age of 7 through to the age of 14 when my parents moved to the country, and so I left. I spend my life creating heroines who are challenged and telling their stories. All my heroines prevail, like true Putney High girls. They succeed, even though succeeding at the end of the story may not quite be what they thought it was at the beginning of the book. They might redefine what they think of as succeeding. And I think, you go to school and you wonder if you've made any impression, what did they even notice you were there? You've left, what's gone on? And so I wasn't really sure until many, many years later, I bumped into my old teacher, Mrs. Morell, and she it was at a drinks party, so, slightly out of context, and she sort of looked at me with that kind of slightly squinty look, like, do I remember you? And then it sort of came to her in a flash, and she sort of went, lived on Putney Hill. I was like, yes. Musical. Yes. Always late. Yes. What's quite funny is that when you applied to come to Lytton House in those days, if you said you read Enid Blyton books, it was the end of the world. So we all lied through our teeth. And we all said, oh, I read lots of lovely, worthy books. And we never mentioned Enid Blyton, but that's what I was reading. And then when we applied at 11, I don't know if this is still the case, we all said Jane Eyre, every single one of us, Jane Eyre. So I did land a job. I landed the only job I could, which was at a magazine called Pensions World, which was as exciting as it sounds. And it was that time that I really found my voice, which was not the voice of pensions, which was the voice of fiction. And it was sitting on the train, reading other people's books and thinking, this is what I want to do. I want to make it up. The irony was that I was a journalist, but I really wasn't interested in facts, and I never have been. I never will be. I can't remember them, and I'm not that interested in them. I'd rather live in the fantasy world. So I had this sort of moment of thinking, this is what I want to do. I think now, having written for quite so many years, I'm just about able to say, yes, I'm a novelist, that's what I do. But it took me a while, because even after the first book came out, I was sort of thinking, well, is this my job now? What shall I do? And I was lucky enough that the first one did do well. I was signed up for more books, and this sort of became my life. I wrote more books in the same vein. They were all under my real name, Madeleine Wickham. I also learned a very valuable tip, which is how to walk on the red carpet, because it got to premiere time, and suddenly I was going to be on the red carpet. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to do this. What do you do? And my publicist actually taught me that you have to stand, you have to have a hip, and you see, nowadays everybody does selfies and they practice. In those days we didn't. So I was literally standing in front of the mirror, cross your feet, elbow, stand up straight. But then I was like, but how do I walk? I have to walk. And I was sort of shuffling sideways. So I'm not sure I quite nailed that one. But it was enormous fun, and something which, I could never, ever, ever have imagined happening, even when I started writing, let alone when I was right back here at Putney High.